So 2020 hasn't been a good year for a lot of us. And to add to that, I'm going to include the death of this specific YouTube channel. The Riff Raff Freak Viktar the Barbarian channel is, for all intents and purposes, done. It's just going to be my own personal... that's where all my subscriptions are. But from now on, I won't be uploading anything else to this specific channel. So the good news in that is, if you, for whatever reason, liked me or any of my content in general, all this stuff is going to stay up. And I've also started a new YouTube channel. It's a bit more focused than what the Viktar the Barbarian channel was, which was I don't know what I'm doing, basically. And at this point, I feel like I kind of know what I'm doing. And to just get a fresh start and to really kind of help myself focus on a specific style of content that I want to create, I've went ahead and created a new channel by the name of Games with Dad. That new channel was specifically made just because all this stuff that's happening nowadays. I feel like it would be awful if, now that I am a parent, if my daughter somehow, lost me, or if anything terrible happened. I wanted her to have, a part of me, just have like a firsthand accounting of what like my childhood was like, the hobbies that I really enjoy, which is particularly gaming. That's the main focus of the channel for sure. Kind of autobiographical, but still somewhat trying to be entertaining. So there's a little bit of history that goes in with the games themselves, little autobiographical details about myself, what I was doing at that point in time, and what these games kind of taught me in life. So yeah, Games with Dad is the new hotness. The new hotness. Viktar the Barbarian / Riff Raff Freak no longer among us. But I'm going to take the time today and kind of show you what I was going through, and if you in the future feel like you want to start a YouTube channel, to kind of avoid the same, just avoiding the same just kind of just weird decisions that I took with the channel. The channel itself is now over 11 years old. I started uploading back in January of 2009. And we'll switch it over here to the actual browser. So I've sorted everything by date. The first 6 videos were all uploaded basically on the same day. It was a Ninja Turtles Let's Play to kind of let you know what was happening in my life at that point in time. I was a freshman in college, and in high school I was always, I would say, within like the top 5% smartest kids in the class. Not to like blow my own horn because I'm 30 and it doesn't matter anymore. It seriously, like, high school, it was terrible. I don't miss it at all. But when I went to college, or at least I felt I was within like the top 5 dumbest. And there was just so much to do. I didn't have good study habits in high school. So when I got to college, it was kind of a shock to my system. And in order to help myself dissociate, I kind of just got absorbed into YouTube. And the thing that was kind of taking off back in 2008, 2009, at that point in time, was still like Let's Plays. I was really big into like Cloud 8745, Ultra J-Man, Behold My Strength, The Seas Crab, to name a few. So I was like, it seems like a fun thing to do. So I went to Best Buy. I got myself I think it's a Dazzle capture device. It was just like an AV, like just the red, white, yellow display ports. And I was like, well, they always say play what you love, so let's play what I love, which is like Ninja Turtles, that kind of thing. The audio video quality on these, but also for 2009, this is like what YouTube was like, where it was just 480p. I think we got an HD button that year, so that was nice. So not a lot of people were playing HD stuff on YouTube to begin with, but with this specific device, there was a because I didn't have like an AV splitter, there was a significant delay, and the first couple of episodes that I uploaded, I had no idea how to like record audio, like my own audio alongside the playthrough. So it starts off being like this long play thing, and I think when we get to, I want to say episode 4.
I don't know why I'm in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Some remix of the Turtles theme.
And this is one of those things where it's just like you listen to yourself from 10 years ago and you just
Yay, energy!
die a little bit on the inside because you're not funny, and like you know that you're not funny, but you're just trying to like clear space. So yeah, that was Ninja Turtles. And if we come down here, you'll see that I've got like significantly more views on the last one than I do like all the other ones combined. Very strange. I didn't notice this until 2011. I basically, from there, I was like, you know, that was kind of a pain in the ass. I don't think I have the right equipment to do all this kind of stuff. Capture software wasn't as readily available as it is today. Like right now, I'm using Streamlabs just to kind of set all this kind of stuff up. It's super easy to do. We've got capture software built into your video cards now, and that just wasn't available back then. And then 2011, YouTube was finally like full-blown HD, thank God. And at this point in time, I was into like Kraken and like JonTron, all that kind of stuff. So I had this idea that I was going to record myself drunk playing Grand Theft Auto 4. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea.
Hello, friends. It is I, Riffraff Freak.
Yeah, so it's really choppy because I was using Fraps.
Holy crap in the FPS. Oh, Jesus.
Really just, I was kind of still very much so experimenting with what I could even do on YouTube. And I think I was using like an old Logitech headset. I've got a Corsair headset now, but you should never use a headset mic. I've got an old Blue Snowball. And this isn't like it. Blue Snowballs aren't great, but they are much better than most headset mics, that kind of thing. So next up on this tour de force of bad, but you know, I still kind of learn from it decisions. Brutal Doom. I was still going by Riffraff.
Hey everybody, it's Riffraff. It's been quite a while, but
and it had been
I decided to upload another video. This is
6 months.
Playing,
a lot of us.
Version of Doom.
The gamma is way too high in this.
The Doom emulator I'm running it on.
The Doom emulator. It's not an emulator, Victor. I think I was able to kind of get audio levels kind of much better, I feel, in this. I think this is the best content I had made at this point in time. Which isn't saying a lot, mind you. So yeah, there's no frame rate issues like there was in the Drunken Stories of Liberty City or whatever the hell I called it. After that, I was like, you know, recording by myself gets really boring after a while. So let's team up with a friend of mine and let's play through something fun. Serious Sam. Again, it's another like let's play type deal. We played through most of it, but Serious Sam gets pretty old pretty quick. So that was August 2012, so I was off work. By September, I believe that is when my wife Megan, then girlfriend at the time, we moved in together, and that's when I got this Blue Snowball. So I was just kind of trying stuff out, playing Black Mesa. It finally had come out by then. It was vaporware at this point in time, but so I thought I'd play through it, and I lasted 2 whole episodes. The follow through on a lot of these things, not very good. My willpower to finish things, not very good. Once scope gets out of hand, I lose all of my will to live, basically, and I just kind of stop doing things. I did a video called Gearbox and the Bait and Switch, and this was primarily and this is probably like my first truly successful video that for whatever reason the algorithm actually kind of liked it. Like I've never been seen that before. I was not expecting this to do so well, and if I was expecting it to do better, I probably would have put more effort into it. Aliens, Colonial Marines, I was kind of riding that wave at this point, but I was going through like the past couple things that Gearbox had done, being like Brothers in Arms, and just how much worse it looked. Like there's no weapon sway or anything like that. Like changes in the AI in Borderlands 2, and it's just like, okay, well, there's a huge difference. Bait and switch for Aliens, Colonial Marines. That's not the first time this has happened, and nowadays everyone's just like, yeah, Randy Pitchford sucks. So I feel like I was ahead of the curve. Yeah, this is one of the first things that I did that required probably a lot more editing than anything else I was used to doing. And then after that, I did some more Brutal Doom things, and to make it easier on myself, I teamed up with Jake, aka Soviet Spaghetti, same guy we did Serious Sam with, and we played through the entirety of Doom 2 with Brutal Doom, and that was really fun. We did 2 like highlight things. And there's some funny moments in here. I've kept this one up. I really like the dynamic between me and Jake at that point in time. I think it was really fun. I had a lot of fun making these. You can tell that we were really just kind of screwing with each other, and that's what made it fun, honestly. One of the main things that I did with this video that I would change is I used the same music track like 3 times in a row, which is pretty amateur hour. But this is similar to, the kind of stuff that Kraken was putting out at this point in time. And the best part was I was still making content while doing this. But this was the kind of stuff that I really liked making at this point in time. Terrible thumbnail over here. Yeah, look at that. Look at that terrible thumbnail. It's fucking awful. I had no idea what the hell I was doing with thumbnails at this point in time. I wasn't doing thumbnails at all. I was just letting YouTube kind of decide. And then from here, I was like, yeah, we should probably do thumbnails. Okay, then we did some more Doom things, and they do okay. I was kind of disappointed in the views of the highlights videos that we did. And then from there, I was like, okay, well, let's expand our horizons a little bit. I did a couple playthroughs of FTL, and then we tried to play Dead Island with Jake, and at this point, it's just like, well, this game isn't working very well. And I was like, you know what? I think I reached 100 subscribers around this point in time. Let's go back. Let's play Turtles in Time, because I started the channel off with Ninja Turtles, and by this point it's been 4 years. So I'd already been in the game for 4 years. This was 7 years ago. And at this point in time, we had this Killing Floor video that I really enjoyed doing, but it got no views. It was off of the Let's Play subreddit, and they're like, hey, let's get together, let's do something. I was like, hey, yeah, I love this game. I love playing Killing Floor. But yeah, I don't think I had very good chemistry with these people. I was like, maybe I need to refocus. So yeah, it wasn't great, and at this point I kind of like, okay, this Let's Play thing really isn't working. I had like 9 views on FTL, a couple better on Ninja Turtles, but I'm not seeing a lot of return on investment on those. And then I was like, you know what? Let's just go full-blown game reviewer. And I got a free copy of Evoland. This was my first ever like edited review. I was kind of blinded by like the idea of the game and the fact that I got it for free, and the game itself was like 10-15 bucks, I think. So I gave it a pretty favorable review, and it's something that I wish I could kind of take back. I knocked this sucker out in about one night, basically, and that was April. And then I did another review a week later, and I like the Retro City Rampage review. And this is something I really enjoy, editing gameplay to soundtrack stuff. It's something that I feel Stop Skeletons from Fighting does really well, aka back in my day he was called the Happy Video Game Nerd, but you know, Uncle Derek is always, I've really envied how well he's edited his videos for a long time, and this is kind of something that I tried to emulate here. But I feel it's still very sophomoric, and it's more just kind of a checklist on stuff, and not how I really felt about the game itself. So at that point, I was still around r/Let's Play for whatever reason. Yeah, these vids didn't do terribly, and from there they're like, well, I don't think I fit in with the Let's Play crowd anymore. They're very like face cammy. That's not something that I want to do. I have very terrible screen presence, if you can't tell. There was a fan subreddit called Normal Boots United, and it was all their fans kind of making content similar to that. So I was like, yeah, I like that kind of stuff. I met a group of guys, and we formed a kind of like a group on our own called Blue Shell. And that was me. Her name is Kat now. She used to go by Pazia. I won't like dead name her actual name. Then there was Super Samicom, Wally the Legend, Goal of Doom, and Just in Time. And Just in Time is Justin from the Jimquisition, like the editor, the guy behind the camera, the guy that does a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. He's actually the one that made the Viktar the Barbarian like emblem thing. So I love Justin to death. I wish him the best. We still talk on Twitter from now and then. But we kind of met together, and then we also, at this point in time, I was talking a lot with a gentleman by the name of Josh. And he had a channel called Really Freaking Clever, and I think he got really popular. I think he started the Yoshi tax evasion meme. Yeah, I think that was Josh. He did like 64 things wrong with like Ocarina of Time, that kind of thing. So he took off compared to the rest of us. He was getting pretty good numbers, and so he was focused on his channel and growing it. And like here we are down here doing, you know, a couple hundred here and there. And kind of inspired by Josh's channel. This is before he really he was the most successful of us, but he hadn't really taken off quite yet. I was like, well, that's a really neat idea. I'm going to kind of take that idea and run with it, and I'm going to call my show Critical Hits. It's something similar to Really Freaking Clever, and at this point in time, this was like my best video, and I tried to do more editing with some of these, and it's just a lot of the editing is not great. Again, I'm using a lot of still frames, but I don't like the flow of the video, and it was for the time very successful. It was like the top post on our Nintendo, and it got like 3,000 views. I was like, whoa, that's insane! 3,000 views. Fun. Another one that I really like doing was this Mega Man Zero review. Yeah, reviewing a whole game, playing through it. I played through it twice, and I was like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, play through an 8-hour game twice. That's 16 hours. I don't have that much time in a day. I'm doing good numbers for what my channel was. I hate my voice in this review. I feel like I'm very like TV show hosty.
This means I'm stuck listening to really loud charging sounds while the boss goes through his typical I am, insert name here, water boy of Guardian's name here, I will crush you.
Yeah, so jokes aren't, again, very good. Common theme. The jokes aren't very good. What was that screenshot? Bleh. Yeah, I love Mega Man Zero. I'll probably do another video of that on Games with Dad. And I have this terrible, terrible habit of getting most of the work done and then just kind of throwing everything to the side. Be like, yeah, I'm like 90% done, but I'm not 90% done because I haven't done the editing yet. And so I will sit there and I will crunch the editing process, and it will take. I did this in, I think, about 5 hours, just like straight up, like in the middle of the night, just 5 hours. My wife was complaining, like, come to bed. I'm like, no, I'm almost done doing the editing. I really liked this intro part. I spent a lot of time in the intro part. Again, trying to be similar to Derek from Stop Skeletons. There's one thing here. I'm like, I'm sorry if you have epilepsy. Ah, Jesus, why would I do that? And I'm like, yeah, this isn't really going to go over a lot of stuff that you haven't heard before. If you've seen these two videos, I'm kind of copying them. Just that was another issue I've had. Is I don't know. I didn't know what my voice was, what it should be, and what my overall goal was, and what makes me different than other people. And this is something that you need to have on YouTube. You need to have your own voice. This is something I feel like I have now. I definitely did not have it back then. This little Usain Bolt thing I did. Yeah, I made that. Yeah, that was like the first, like, I always had like one gag like that. Like I added the Doom Guy helmet to this. It looks terrible if you look at it. It's like highly artifacted and not like done good at all. Hallmark of my channel back in the day. Just like, oh yeah, that's enough effort. It wasn't, Victor. It really wasn't. And from then, critical hits just kind of died. Like, just legit. Like, again, I did something twice and I was like, nah. So again, not really knowing what my voice was a key thing. And then from there I was like, oh yeah, so like LGR is doing all this like retro collectible stuff. I want to start doing like retro collectibles. That sounds cool. You can see down here, I liked my own video. That's what cool people do. But I did have fun making this video, even though everything was, you know, terrible looking. Like, oh yeah, cool. Retron 5 is so cool. I got so hyped for this, and it took like 3 more years to came out. And it was supposed to come out like that year. Don't get hyped for things, kids. I was like, really easy. Yeah, this is when we started doing Blue Shell. Yeah, look at that intro. Next one was System Sellers. And guys, this is very difficult for me to show this video because I do not like my tone in this at all. And there's a specific gag here that I hate. The idea of this was that it was going to be me trying to decide to play like what most people consider one of the best games on the system and just another game. And I am terrible at drawing. And I was like, well, I don't know what to do, so I'll just kind of do what I can. And it looks bad. I'm just like, like the timing itself, I feel is very good, but the rest of the joke, terrible. Yeah, I knew it back then. That was bad. At this point in time, I'm still using the Conan the Barbarian.
But it seems like the gaming media has this
Like, and that eventually I'm like, well, I don't want to get sued for using this. So I was like, hey Justin, can you make me a logo? And at this point in time, he wasn't with Jim yet, so he was like, yeah, sure, I don't have anything else to do. And this time I'm like, okay, well, I'm trying this review thing. It's going okay. I wanted Vector Man to be my next, like, critical hits, Mega Man Zero. Like, my views have been going down since then. So I was like, Vector Man, I love this game. And I was like, hey, yeah, this is something I always associate with Christmas. I still do. I got this game for Christmas when I was 5. It was right after my little brother was born. It was like the coolest thing ever. And so I made a review, and my review is just like, let's play through the game and make jokes. Not funny jokes. Again, running theme. Jokes are not funny. And I've still got that stupid announcer voice. I'm trying to be something that I'm not. I'm just trying to emulate things that I've seen instead of having my own voice. Again, you should have your own voice. This video made me hate this game, and that kind of sucks. I forced myself to play through this. I think I played through this game all in one night, which is... Don't do that. I have an issue, again, with burnout. And I was pushing myself probably a little too hard. I was trying too hard to make jokes. The jokes themselves weren't organic. Yeah, and at this point, yeah, I was bouncing stuff off of... I was bouncing scripts off of people. And that was one thing I really liked about Blue Shell, is we took a look at each other's scripts, looked at videos, and we gave each other, like, honest feedback. And that's something that I kind of miss at this point in time. I feel like I was improving less than Wally and Sam. At this point, Goal, he had become basically the Terraria guy. Like, hundreds of thousands of views on videos because he made Terraria guides. He found his niche. And the issue came when there was no more content in Terraria, and he tried to move to other things, and he got no views on stuff. And it's just like, I felt so bad for him. And that's why building a community itself is important, and it shouldn't be focused on just the games. So I took a break after the Vector Man video because I got a different job, and this job was a night job primarily. Wasn't a good job. I almost died. Like, legitimately, I still get PTSD from this job. I was working in what is essentially a glorified mental hospital for troubled youths, and I was put on basically a kill list, like some 17-year-old's kill list, and he, during one of the nights, and I don't know how the third shift guys missed this, but he got up into the ceiling, took one of those halogen bulbs, busted it open, and hid it in, like, his clothes. And one night he tackled me to kind of size me up to basically see if he could do it. I feel like he had it on him, and he just decided not to. And the next day I was like, because he'd been causing troubles. We pressed assault charge. I went ahead and I pressed assault charges because I was like, man, this kid's like tackling people. I don't know what he's gonna do. None of the other kids felt safe. And as soon as the police walked that guy out the door, they were like, he's got shit in his room right now. He told us not to tell anyone or else he'd kill us. And we went in, and there was like a note to Satan saying he was going to kill me and my supervisor. Like, that shit rocked me. And I was like, I'm done. Like, I went to college for this. I spent 4.5 years of my life training for this, and no, like I cannot put my family through this, like this whole like I could die at work thing. So I quit and I got a job at a bank, and that was around May of that year. Like this Wolfenstein video here, that was right after my last week, and I was just like, man, I'm so done with this. So this, I was going through a lot of shit during a lot of this stuff, and I tried to escape via YouTube. I was a bit of a chunky boy.
Alright, it's my day off.
I missed that shirt. That shirt doesn't fit me anymore. Bad acting. It was a joke like, oh yeah, let's review a good game. Like, no, you're not gonna review a good game. You're gonna review Perfect Dark Zero, which is a fine game. It's like I consider this like a 6 out of 10 game. The job I was in, I would get off at 10 o'clock, and by that time I didn't want to come home and like make anything, so I would just like pick up like Wendy's or whatever on the way home, and I ate like crap. I felt like crap. I started getting stomach issues. I had this terrible facial hair. I still kind of have terrible facial hair, but like I manage it a lot better, I feel. I was doing more on-camera stuff. I got a Sony Handycam for Christmas that year because I wanted to do more YouTube stuff. There was this stream highlights for Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein came out.
We're fucking going to the moon!
And I streamed it on Twitch. We had a lot of people come in. I think I had like up to like 50 people. And I wanted to commemorate my favorite part of the game. It's just out of nowhere, you go to a Nazi moon base. And I was not expecting this like at all. I wasn't even really expecting this game to be good. And Wally actually did the clips themselves, like he took like the hour or so that I was on the move, and he edited it down to like just like the funny parts, and he sent it to me. So I'm like, I'm really bad at finding the funny parts, guys. And so he's like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, Wally was such a bro. I don't talk to him very often now because we're adults. He went back to school. He was really into schooling for a while, and then he changed his YouTube channel to be more about like anime and stuff. Wally was great. He was basically my best friend for. I've never met the guy, but he was basically my best friend for like 2 years. Without his support, I don't know where I would be. And I used different like space themed stuff. So I had like the moon from DuckTales. I've got the space station from Turtles in Time remix. At this point, I feel that was a Bro Team thing. Was that a motherfucking Bro Team reference? It was. So yeah, fun video. And then probably one of my favorite videos I've ever done is this is one Neversoft shut down. And the joke is that I'm drunk, obviously. It was one of my days off at my new job. I wasn't actually drinking. All of the amber liquid you see is apple juice. So I'm just kind of playing through all of these Tony Hawk games. Like, cool. And then it's like, where does it go off the rails? Tony Hawk's Underground's good. I'm just like, yeah, it's pretty good, man. Yeah, I don't need a drink for this. I love Tony Hawk's Underground. It's a great game. Well, yeah, this is my attempt at like sketch comedy. Like American Wasteland, it's a good game. It's just off the rails, like Underground 2 was. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need some of the harder stuff for this. And then the Tony Hawk 1 and 2, the Tony Hawk HD remake or whatever it was, just awful. And it comes back to me. Never forget. Okay, and then from there, I kind of like forget what the hell I'm doing. I'm like, okay, well, we've kind of had, it's been every other month where I'm doing stuff. Come August, I'm like, well, maybe I want to do something on Max Payne 3. I think that's a good game. And then I stream it, and I have footage for it, and it's just like, nah, man. I'm like, well, what about Crackdown? Let's do Crackdown. Crackdown's a good game. I'm just not feeling it. Well, let's do Doom again. That's your go-to. You know, feeling down. Let's play Doom. I don't know why I did that. This is probably my favorite video that I've ever done. I probably hammed up the voiceover stuff too much. I did pitch shifting for this, and it doesn't sound very good. This is my favorite part of the video. Straight to hell. Look at all the great shit everywhere. I still laugh every single time. It's orgy. There's a lot of good jokes in this, I feel. I feel again, I was really into like Bro Team at this point. So this was like a really quick again, like this and the Tony Hawk video I did in one day. Like I got footage for everything, edited it all together, and put it out in one day. So it was like really quick stuff, almost basically like sketch comedy at this point. I really liked, I do like the pacing and the timing of the humor in both of those videos. And then from there, to build upon that, I did nothing. From there, I'm like, man, these reviews, there's a lot of editing. I don't know if I want to do that. Let's try streaming for a little bit. So I tried streaming a couple of Doom stuff. I streamed the entirety of Aliens Colonial Marines. I brought in my friend Dave. And that went nowhere. Again, more Doom stuff. I played Insurgency. I got into a really cool group of Insurgency people. And yeah, see, after that Doom Guy's Best Guy video, if we go back. So July 13th, 2014. Doom Guy Best Guy, September 14th, 2014. And then my next video was basically like almost a year later in May. And at that point, I had been working more, and then I lost my job, basically. And it was right before I got married. I got married June 6th, 2015. So from there, it was kind of just like, I got to go find a job. I did find a job, and on top of that, for additional income, I started working for a streamer called Cobalt Streak, and I was doing his uploads day after day, just editing down streams. So my channel became more of an afterthought. I was like, I need someone to bounce stuff off of me. At this point, Blue Shell's been dissolved for like a year and a half. We still occasionally talk to each other on like Skype, that kind of thing. Then my Skype got hacked, and I'm just like, you know, fuck Skype. I'm done. I'm deleting all this. So I was like, I need someone to bounce this off of. Let's play Doom 3 with my wife, because she hates scary things, and that'll be funny. And then we went, you know, 10 solid episodes. And then I dropped it about halfway through the game, because that's what I do, is I drop things. Or that's what I did. As I drop things. Let's Play stuff, again, not working. Who would have thought, you know, fourth time's the charm, right? No, Victor, it's not. Streaming didn't work. None of that worked. So I was like, okay, let's go. I'm having fun with Killing Floor 2. Let's do some Killing Floor 2 guides. And I had fun with it. And it was like educational. And this was right after Killing Floor 2 had just come out on PS4, so there was going to be a lot of eyes on stuff being like, how do I play this game? I'm not having a good time. So I was like, hey, this is the perfect opportunity. Let's go ahead. And then, like, this is my most viewed video because I was like, oh, cool, sweet. The algorithm likes this. 27,000 views. I was like, okay, yeah, that was pretty solid. Let's keep going. The next one was a guide for the Commando. I put more effort into it, and it got less views. But I was like, yeah, it's been November 22nd, so I was like, oh, cool, it came out. And I was like, okay, well, let's do another one. April 8th. 5 months later is when I decided to capitalize on that first video, and lo and behold, look at that. That's it's a fifth of the views. I wonder why that happened, Victor. That didn't go so well. Let's go back to Let's Playing again, because I was like, Doom 2016 was fantastic. It was like my favorite game of 2016. It was a year after it came out. Let's see if it's still good. Surprise, surprise, it is good. So I did a lot of this stuff in 2017. And I recorded all of this. I got burnt out on it again. Surprise, surprise. Playing through an entire game and trying to produce content and be funny. It burns me out, man. And I think I still didn't figure this out until this year that I just don't enjoy doing that. July 3rd, 2017. Skip ahead. September 6th, 2018. I think this was after, because I did try live streaming on YouTube a couple times. I called it Metroid May. I'm like, let's play through like a bunch of like Metroid 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's Metroid 1. I used Zero Mission for that. I used the Metroid 2 remake for Metroid 2. AM2R, probably my favorite game of that year. Super Metroid. This is the first time I had actually beaten Super Metroid. And then Metroid Fusion. The streams went fairly well for how dead my channel was. And from there, I was like, yeah, let's do Insurgency. Like, I was doing some first-person shooter stuff. I was like, ah, cool, we'll do Insurgency. And it's just me synced up to gameplay because I enjoy doing that, syncing music up to gameplay. But it's this new band that I like, Power Trip. And unfortunately, if any of you guys are metalheads, you know that the frontman of Power Trip, Riley Gale, passed away in his sleep about a couple months ago. I like your video, man. I like your videos, man. Keep going. And then he didn't. So 2018, July 24, 2019. This is the next time I uploaded. And I was like, you know what? Tony Hawk. I gotta play through at least one Tony Hawk game a year. That's just a thing that I have to do. I love Tony Hawk games. Growing up, I was like, let's play through them. Let's do a retrospective. It's something I've always wanted to do as a series. Let's do a retrospective. I did 2 and then stopped. Are you sensing a pattern? So yeah, I played through Halo. And I was like, yeah, let's try this Let's Play thing one more time. Halo just came out on PC. Let's see if the algorithm picks it up. It did. And at this point, I was like, March 20th, 2020. I'm like, is my channel dead? My channel has been dead. Let's be honest with ourselves. Between all of these Halo videos, I've gotten less than 100 views. The algorithm does not like my channel. The type of content that I have put out on this channel is too varied. So it's not focused at all. We need to refocus. And from that, I've decided, it was March 2020, I've gone ahead, I've made games with Dad, and to kind of prove to you guys that this is going to be something that I'm going to be doing going forward. Since July, I have put out one video each month. This is the longest I've done it. I'm making it so that my workload isn't too much. And there's some quality stuff here. I'm proud of the work that I've put out here. I think my worst video so far has been the Halo Combat Evolved, and I think it's just because it's not focused. I still think it's a good video, but the lack of focus wasn't there, and then from that I immediately turned around and put my most focused video yet, and to kind of celebrate me doing 5 videos, not including the Welcome to Games with Dad channel trailer, everything. I'm like, okay, let's do a top 10 list like that. Like it's something I've never done. I want to do it. So this Friday I'm putting out my top 10 Genesis games. I'm really excited for this new channel. We'll see if it goes anywhere. If you liked any of my content in the past, please go ahead and give this new channel a look. I haven't had this much fun making content for a while. So I'm taking notes when I do stuff. I have an actual process now. The only thing is I don't have very good feedback loop right now, because I'm doing this on my own. Like I'll run jokes by my wife, and my wife is very good at letting me know when my jokes aren't good. And at the end of the day, these videos are for everyone, but I wanted to put myself out there, so if anything does happen to me, my daughter gets a sense of like who her dad was. She's gonna turn 3 this year. Parenthood has been fantastic. I've gotten to the point where I've gotten to know my dad really well. He worked his butt off to kind of provide for us when I was younger. And now he's kind of tailing off at the end of his career, and we've started talking about, what are your hobbies? Like, what do you do other than work and, like, make us food and, watch Kansas City, like the Chiefs and everything. And we've been able to bond over a lot of stuff, and I'm just like, well, I want her to kind of have that opportunity to kind of figure out who I am, just in case something does happen. I want her to have like a part of me. So it is for everyone. I'm trying to make it accessible for everyone, but it's specific. Like it's games that I like, that I want to share with the world, and particularly my daughter. So I'm proud of the effort that I've put forth so far. I'm really trying to keep myself on the straight and narrow. I find that once I get myself into a rhythm, and it's something I learned when I was working with Cobalt. What I learned the most from that is to keep a consistent upload schedule, and to really know your voice and try and build your audience. Don't just chase trends. Don't chase a specific game itself, because that was an issue that both Goal of Doom and Cobalt have had issues with. Cobalt is like the Isaac guy, and he still makes Isaac content. Luckily for him, it's a game that he loves. Again, thank you all for watching. It's been a really rough ride, but I feel the future looks pretty bright. So feel free to hop on over to Games with Dad. I'm having a lot of fun making this stuff. I think you'll have a lot of fun watching it. So, you guys take care. I'll see you over there.